Hi everybody, I'm Delicia. Thanks for tuning into the Cigar Vixen channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing this very highly requested Fuente. This is the 20th anniversary OpusX, the beautiful blue label. This particular cigar was given to me during Pro Cigar. It actually was given to everybody in the final night gala box, I believe. So this was one of the cigars, as I mentioned, that a lot of you that watched that particular video requested to see a review of this guy. So I'm actually going to light it up for the very first time, which is not something that I normally do. Usually when I do a review, for the most part, I've smoked it a few times prior just to kind of give it, you know, a sense of like how the construction is and have a feel for the flavor. So this is the very first time that I am smoking this particular cigar with all of you. So very cool. To get into it a little bit, first of all, I couldn't find a ton of information about it other than it is the 20th anniversary celebration cigar of the original OpusX, which actually came out in 1995. This particular cigar actually came out last year, towards the end of the year, so 2016. It was about a year late. There was something going on either with the tobacco, or I'm not exactly sure why it came out late, but nonetheless, it was still to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the very famous OpusX. And as you notice, it has a very vibrant, beautiful blue color instead of the traditional red. You'll also notice if you see the box anywhere that the box itself looks different. It also has the blue, but aside from having the blue, it has a wavy kind of line on the front of the box, and I was reading a little bit about that. Apparently the wavy is to represent a river that flows close by or through or next to the actual Chateau de Fuente, their farm, which I personally have never seen, but I was reading about it, that's why they incorporated that waviness in there. And the blue itself, apparently it was the color of like some primary bands that were used, a preliminary, either, I don't know if they actually came out with bands. This was before I was smoking. I was a kid when they first did the OpusX, but I don't know if the bands at some point were ever blue or if it was just an idea, but that's apparently why they chose the blue. It's also a cool marketing pop. I mean, it's something different. It's eye-catching. It definitely, if you see these in the humidor and you're not following like what's going on at all, you're going to notice that, hey, why is this one blue? Let me, smoke this one. The last thing that just aesthetically you'll notice is that the color of the wrapper on this one is, to me, it's significantly lighter. And apparently that's due to the different priming that they used on the wrapper for this one. Not a lot of information is disclosed on the actual, blend itself, other than it's all Fuente owned farms that they're using. And this particular wrapper is apparently from the same variety, the same tobacco plant that they're using on the original Opus. However, it's a few primings down, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of what it was. That's the information I could find on it, that it's a few primings down from the original, traditional Opus wrapper, which is again going to give it gives it a lighter color, but it also most likely is going to give it a little bit less strength. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what that means, primings, really quick, just refers to the different rows of tobacco. So in most cases, the majority of farmers, as they're plucking the tobacco or picking the tobacco before it's sent to the curing barn, they're taking it off in sections. So they start at the bottom and kind of work their way up. So the very bottom leaves, most of the time, the ones that are like in the dirt, get discarded or they're used for something else in most cases. But again, that's going to refer to like the first priming, and then they're going to go up as the plant grows, depending on how big the plant, how tall it is. They usually take a few leaves at a time, wait a few more days, come back, do another level, another row of priming, and so on and so forth. And what that does is the leaves that are left on that plant, it gives them more strength. It gives them more time in the sun if they're sun grown, or in their shade especially. It just gives them a little bit more strength. So again, when you get to that higher priming, it's going to change the tobacco. Then it'll be different than the lower primings, in other words. Also, there's different levels as far as your seco, your biso, your ligero. Some is used for flavor, some is used for combustion, some is used for strength. So there's a lot that goes into it, but just to give a quick overview kind of what that means if you're reading, using a lower priming, like what does that even mean? So anyways, that's kind of, if I didn't confuse you guys, that's kind of what it means. But this one is using the lower prime. The filler is also a slightly different tobacco than is used in the traditional Opus, but it's still a Fuente-owned farm. So I don't know if that's still in the Dominican Republic or maybe outside. Not sure. Again, don't know all the ins and outs of this particular blend. But I do know from you looking at their website, it doesn't give you a lot, but it does tell you that it comes in 4 different sizes. And the sizes I actually wrote down because they're really cool names. So the one size is the Believe 5 3/4 by 52. Another is Power of a Dream 6 3/8 by 52. Father and Son 6 1/4 by 49. And God's Whisper 6 1/2 by 56. So really cool names. I mean, it's just a great idea. I love the marketing behind this particular release. And all that being said, let's go ahead and just, get into it. Light it up. The wrapper is very pretty though. Very smooth. On the foot, you get kind of a sugar cinnamon type of, it's weird. It reminds me of like a buñuelo, like the fried tortilla with the cinnamon and sugar. It kind of has a little bit of that. Sounds really weird, but just has a little bit of a sweet aroma to the foot. As well as that pre-lit draw. You're getting a nice sweet, little bit of a hay, but you get a sweet cinnamon type of sugary mixture in there. Really nice. And the MSRP on these cigars, of course, is a little bit higher. So it's ranging from about 17, almost 18 bucks to 20 bucks. Of course, this will vary depending on who you buy the cigar from, and not everybody carries the cigar. In fact, I made several calls, went into a lot of different local lounges. As I was saying, I went into a lot of local lounges, called around. Nobody had this cigar. And this was back in like January, February, and nobody had this cigar. So I was very excited to see them give this out, during Pro Cigar. I thought it was really nice. Really nice start. Graham cracker-ish, again with that cinnamon sugar cracker-like flavoring. Really nice. You do get some spice, but it's not very strong. I'd say the spice level is about a medium, not as strong as the regular Opus. That initially with the regular Opus you get that burst of spice, more of a black pepper spice to me. This one is a sweeter, again, cinnamonish, a little bit of sugary type of sweetness to it. Really nice. Very nice aroma as well. Slightly more of a pepper through the retrohale, very light, very subtle. But again, going with just that nice kind of sweet and little bit of a spice on it. Cracker-like is the only other flavor that I'm getting right now. The spice on it kind of lingers a little bit more, so it's a longer finish, but really nice. Very, very pleasant. So of course, I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna smoke this down. I'm gonna check back in with you for the second, third, and we're gonna talk about what the flavors are like. So coming back for the second, third on the Fuente Opus anniversary, 20th anniversary. Flavors right now have incorporated a lot of anise. It was kind of like towards the end of the first third and really present on this second third that anise is fairly strong. There's also a little bit of a clove kind of mixed in, as well as that cinnamon type of spice. Haven't really seen a lot of the pepper spice come through. There's been little hints of it, but hasn't been anything that's really made a strong appearance. More on the cinnamon, again, that sort of a spice. And even that has kind of gone into the background. What's really pronounced is that anise type of a flavor. So that's what's going on right now. I did have a really nice ash, and I actually knocked it off on accident, but it was pretty much like the whole entire first third was pretty strong. That being said, the burn line is really funky on this. It's not so much affecting the smoke, other than more of a pet peeve of mine, and I just noticed, and I'm being a little more critical because of course it is a Fuente, it is a higher price point, so I'm looking at all the little details, and I'm just noticing that that burn line throughout the entire stick has just been kind of you know, jagged, like here for example, it's very pronounced. It's almost like in a V. So that's the only thing I'll say as far as the construction is concerned. But again, the ash itself held on very nicely, and the flavors are good so far. It's smoking nice and cool and producing a nice amount of smoke. So I'm gonna go ahead and smoke it down further and check back in one last time for the final third. So joining you back for the final third, flavors now have really kind of changed. I mean, not so much anise is present in this last third, getting more of a clove, as well as you know, a change in that spice. So the spice has really stepped up a pretty big jump. So there's a lot of that spicy in there, but because of the little bit of clove that I'm getting, it's making that spice a little hard to identify exactly if it's, you know, like what type of pepper. It's definitely not a cinnamon anymore. It's almost along the lines of a green chili pepper. It's just there. I mean, you definitely get it. It lingers on the finish a little bit more. There's also a little bit of a nutmeg and a hint of an earthiness that's kind of in the background. But the nutmeg was something that was new that I didn't taste anywhere else, you know, throughout the cigar. So overall thoughts is, you know, one, the burn line kind of bugged me. It was jagged pretty much like the whole entire time, but the ash was nice and the overall smoking experience was good. It didn't heat up. I mean, it was a nice cool smoke throughout the entire thing. But I think because I had fairly high expectations, one, because I waited a long time to smoke it, and also because of the name and because of the price point, I did expect a little bit more of a wow factor. It didn't wow me. It was good. Of course, flavors are always subjective. Everybody knows that. But I just thought it would have a little bit more oomph to it, and it really didn't. But not to say that it wasn't good. It was good. It just wasn't fantastic, which is kind of what I was expecting. So, you know, I always encourage you to be the judge yourself, and it's definitely worth a try. I don't know that I would encourage you to buy multiple sticks. Maybe try one on a special occasion and see if it's up your alley or not. You're probably either going to really like it or just, you know, it's not going to maybe blow your hair back. But again, definitely worth a smoke. It's good. It had good flavors and it smoked very well. And, you know, it's a very special cigar. So anyway, I'd love to hear back from you. Have you guys smoked it before? Are you looking to try it? Let me know your thoughts. And as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Cigar lounges and events in all 4 corners of North America and in between. I've even hiked to the top of a volcano and smoked a cigar in Nicaragua. Along the between cigar destinations, I'll squeeze in a festival or two. Now all this cigar smoking has gotten some attention. Join me as I pursue my passion. Experience this exclusive world very few will ever see. My name is Delicia, and I'm the Cigar Vixen.